I guess it's time to get started. Welcome to my channel. My name is Margaret. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome to BookTube. And what are we doing today? Well, I'm hoping to get this out on Tuesday, and this will be my first ever Tag Tuesday, doing it specifically for a Tuesday. I usually put out videos on Wednesday. Wednesday is a big day this week because someone's having a birthday. Oh, yes, A Mighty Blaze is having a birthday. They're going to be all over social media, and I don't want to compete because I can't compete. So I'm going to put this out on Tuesday. We'll see if I can get it edited. To that end, I will not be saying and so. Anyway, 2 tags for Tuesday. And just so happens I've got 2 tags by the lovely Very Literary Kari that I haven't done yet. One she just tagged me in, and one's been languishing for a while. So sorry about that. Let's get into it. I've got my list all prepared here. Oh, and sorry about the lighting. I'm doing this kind of last minute. I usually film at night so that I don't have interfering nosy lighting like this, but my dad is coming up this evening to visit, and so I will not have time to do it at night without being super awkward, because filming while someone else is sitting there listening to you is just the worst, right? I found that out when people were doing backstage and stuff like that, which is kind of funny. Okay, so the first tag is going to be the last 10 books. Question number 1 for the last 10 books. The last book you didn't finish. This is very recent. I finally gave up on Before the Coffee Gets Cold. The first story was an hour and 40 minutes. I was listening to it on Libro FM. The second story was an hour and 40 minutes. And they reminded me both of anime and of soap operas in the way that they stated things that did not need to be stated in a written work. And I don't know if it's the translation, or if it's the style, or the genre. It's kind of making its own genre, but I was just done midway through. I'm sorry, because it looked really good. Question number 2. The last book you reread. I reread Dreaming Spies, for which I have an ARC that I have kept, by Lori R. King. It was an ARC because I got it in a giveaway a really long time ago when Goodreads did those for free. Lori R. King is one of my favorite mystery authors. She writes a series called Holmes and Russell and Holmes. I'm blanking on the actual name at the top, but it's about Sherlock Holmes and Mary Russell, and it's always very interesting in a far-off place with a new culture to learn about and a great plot and great humor. If you haven't read her, Lori R. King. Question number 3. Last book you bought. And I took this one up. I sort of hunted around for the last batch of books that I got from Backstory Books, my local purveyor, and I couldn't find the little receipt that I always leave in the last book, so I'm not sure which book is the actual last book, but the last book grouping contained this, and so this is as good as any. It's called Bold Spirit, Helga Estby's Forgotten Walk Across Victorian America by Linda Lawrence Hunt, and it looked very interesting, so I picked that up, alongside Wilmington's Lie and White Rage. Quite the grouping. Question number 4. Last book you said you read but didn't. And I couldn't think of one. I'm sure there's cases where I've said it in conversation or thought I would read it and sort of advance white lied, but I can't think of anything right now. So, question number 5. Last book you wrote in the margins of. And it's been a while. I now use these little suckers, and they're lifesavers because they can be used several times and don't leave a mark, and they're fun colors. Win-wins. I used to be a religious highlighter of textbooks in high school, and I think similarly I wrote in the margins in college to study for tests and remember information from physical repetition or take notes, but not for a long time. Definitely not my novels. Question number 6. Last book you had signed. this would be Diana Gabaldon's last book, because she came to town on her book tour, and I went down and got a ticket and got a book and got it signed and acted like a complete idiot in front of her because I wanted to ask her an author question, and I was just too nervous. Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing. Question number 7, last book you lost. And I tend not to lose books, but I guess I would say Wanderlust, because I had this book. It was on my favorite shelf. It was a hardcover with the dust jacket with a beautiful orange sunset and the garden. And I, at one point, couldn't find it. And I asked everybody, and I looked, and I looked, and I moved, and I moved, and I moved, and it went missing. So I guess I lost it. Question number 8, last book you had to replace. Well, I didn't replace Wanderlust. I'm waiting for it to turn up again, just like karma. So the last book I replaced was because I wanted to reread it, which was Maisie Dobbs by Jacqueline Winspear. That's another mystery series that I will read all of. And I think I lent it out, and I never got it back, so I lost it. And that one I did replace because it was available at the bookstore where I was working. Question number 9, last book you had an argument over. I don't argue over books. Especially in the last year, I don't argue with anyone. Question number 10, last book you couldn't get a hold of. This, I have one. I Tituba, however you want to say it, by Maryse Condé. This was a book that I was very excited to read based on Books by Lanus' recommendation, and Backstory doesn't have it, and I don't want to get a new version. So I'm, again, waiting for karma to find me the right copy of the book at some point. But I have another of Maryse Condé's books, and I will happily read that first, because she seems like an amazing author. All right, break. So the next tag is going to be a bit longer. It is 20 questions. Oh, I forgot to say who. So, Kari tagged me in this, and it was originally by Steve Donoghue. I don't know who the last 10 books was originally by. Mark Nash. Both these men have sort of cult status with their names. They feel like, along with Sean the Book Maniac, they're people I'm always hearing about. Number 1, what is the nearest place that's so famous everyone would know it, and how near is it? Well, for BookTube people, everyone should know about Powell's books, and that's only a 20-minute walk away, so that's pretty cool. Question number 2, have you ever had a paper cut that was so bad you thought you would die? No, but I've had mosquito bites and spider bites that I thought would make me scratch my skin off. What a delightful question. Question number 3. Have you ever found something valuable in a used book? No. Worked at a used bookstore, wasn't really in charge of taking in the used books, but even when I would buy loads and loads of used books, I never found anything valuable. The closest, it's just like photos, receipts, and bookmarks, so. Question number 4. Have you read, met, or married Jacques Barzun? And I'm assuming this is an inside joke. The answer is no, no, no. Question number 5. A non-human animal that you see the most. And I would have to echo Kari and say birds, mostly crows, but also little sparrows and, I don't know, finches and tits that come on the patio, and it's super fun. My cat likes to watch them. And also bunnies. There's little bunny rabbits that come on the lawn below my window, and I love looking out in the morning and seeing if they're there. They're little gray, I don't know, small, maybe a foot long, and they're just delightful whenever I see them. Question number 6. Have you ever been in a cathedral? Yes. If more than one, do you have a favorite? And yes, more than one, but the ones in Europe kind of run together, apparently. So I would say the one that I remember having a good feeling about is the one that I've been in the most, which would be St. Matthew the Apostle in Washington, D.C., because it's in DuPont Circle, and I used to work there for 4 years, so I could walk down, and every once in a while I would slip in and walk around when there wasn't service or anything, and it was just beautiful. It's one of those Beaux-Arts period mosaics and color on the decoration of the walls, and so it's just beautiful. So I really like that place. And for Kari, that is where they held JFK's coffin after he was in state. They would do that at the Capitol. It has some association with JFK, so now I will look that up and display this for your viewing pleasure. All right. Question number 7. Have you ever been seeing things, hearing things delirious? And I don't think seeing things, hearing things, but doing stuff I don't remember. When I woke up from anesthesia, yes, I remember doing something and then going to sleep and then coming back up and being like, what? That was fun. Question number 8. Do you have blood relatives who read for pleasure? Yes. My sister, my aunt, I don't know, maybe some of my cousins do. None of them except my aunt has told me that they've read my books. So they can't be great readers. No, I'm just kidding. Question number 9. And how many species have you smooched on the lips? And I'm going to echo Kari again. Just one. Just humans, because I know where those mouths have been. Humans too, sometimes, but yeah. Question 10. Do you listen to the radio? Do you have a favorite program or person? No. I do listen to the radio, but I listen to it for the music. And the stations come in so sketchily that it's hard to find anything regularly, unfortunately. Question number 11. Have you seen the Eiffel Tower, the Tower of Pisa, the Louvre? And the answers are oui, no, oui. I studied abroad in Paris for a semester, for a quarter, so I definitely have appreciated the delights of the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre. Question number 12. What little thing do you miss the most during quarantine? And I said camaraderie. My cat's good, but I mean, he's not a human. I really miss the karaoke get-togethers and the karaoke friends, because not only is the karaoke place not open, voice box, but the friends have also sort of scattered to the four winds and moved in, or I don't know. I don't hear from them anymore, so that's kind of sad. Question number 13, what little thing do you miss least because of the quarantine? Working? I don't know. Question number 14, what's your relationship with small talk? And my answer to this is that it can be a loathsome seeming necessity, especially for job interviews. I hate when there's some expectation of making small talk because it just seems so fake. But, I mean, small talk is one thing, conversation is another. So when you ask specifically about small talk, no, I hate it. I like conversation, I don't like small talk because it's constraining you to the weather and the condition of the roads and how is your family and silly things that I don't need to know about because everyone's going to give the same answers if you're making small talk. Question number 15. Have you ever won money at gambling? I definitely have made a couple bets with people in my family about being wrong or right about some Googleable fact, but I don't remember ever collecting those. And I've definitely been to Reno and Vegas, but I don't remember ever playing the slots or a table or anything. So, and I've never bought a raffle? No, I've never bought a lottery ticket. I have bought raffle tickets because that's like supporting charities. And lottery is supporting tax-funded charities, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, not enough to be memorable. Question 16, do you donate money or time to charities? It ebbs and flows, but I'd say I average 5 hours a week for A Mighty Blaze, which is a cooperative of authors, writers, people who are helping authors and writers getting books out to the public, and that is whose birthday it is this week on Wednesday. So we're celebrating 1 year of these 30 or so people coming together to put a lot of work into keeping people's dreams alive. If you know anything about the publishing industry, you know that a lot is riding on a book's launch. It's like a 1 week period that could sink everything that you're aiming for, and you'd have to walk back a long, long failure. And to have that happen during a time when you can't have events is pretty devastating, especially if you've worked for that book for years and years. So that's what Mighty Blaze does. They do shows on Facebook and YouTube, and pub day social media campaigns, and help run virtual festivals for places like Brattleboro, Vermont, and Sanibel Island in Florida. And I got to help with those last year. That was way more than 5 hours a week. But for now, we're cutting back, and I'm doing some of their YouTube stuff, which is super exciting. I also help out at Historical Novel Society. I'm like a regional facilitator for their Facebook group, which means I come up with topics for polling for our social hours and coordinate the Zoom and pay for the Zoom and just make sure people are feeling welcome and making contacts and just socializing. Money is less regular. It's more occasions or campaigns. I know I've donated to ProPublica. They're a great organization. I know I've donated to Wikipedia. I think they do a lot of good stuff. Question 17. Craft. Do you craft? No, I don't do handicrafts. I'm not very mechanically minded, and I'm not very manually dexterous, I suppose. So I write and I dance and I sing, and those seem to be my creative pursuits rather than making. But I know people. Question 18. Do you talk to yourself when alone? I do now. Question 19. Were you a social queen bee in college? No, I have always been a sort of 2 to 3 best friends type of person, and that could be its whole own video. Question 20. Sunrise or sunset? I mean, is this a Fiddler on the Roof question? Because both. But as Kari knows from the comment I left on her video, definitely sunrise. And this is only aided and abetted by the fact that these windows face east. So I get no sunset because I'm up against the hill, and all the sunrise I can handle. So, I mean, that's just the sort of deal that I made when I moved here. But I really am more of a morning person, and especially in the past year, when I haven't been working, I've noticed that I will get up at 5, 6 with the sun, or just because my body says so, and I'll come out and either start working or just sort of be quiet and have a cup of tea and journal or whatnot. And so I'm much more comfortable with that time in the morning than staying up, because once you get after 8, 9, 10, I'm just sort of like a zombie. I'm not really good for anything thinking wise. So yeah, you want me in the morning. That's what I'll say. All right. Did I forget to tag? I'm going to tag both of these at the end. All right. So for the last 10 books, who are the lucky winners? Melissa at Fully Booked, Jeremy at Jeremy Fee, and Michaela at Song of My Shelf. I will be tagging you in the description. And for the 20 questions, I also checked to make sure none of these people did it yet. I have Naomi's Bookshelf, Kim at Middle of the Book March, and Angie at Literary Labors, because we're doing a buddy read later this month for March of the Modern. So I thought she might like to do that tag. It's kind of zany. It's kind of silly, but hey, what else do we know Steve Donoghue for, right? Hopefully you enjoyed the different angle. I tried to clean up a little bit. It's a bit messy over here. But yeah, like I said, kind of doing this in the daytime throws me off. You don't even see my M&Ms. And I just needed to get it out the door before everything else starts. This week is underway. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for listening.